Hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're first time here. It's Domas, and without further ado, I'll go into my message for today. Eyesight. When we're looking at each other, we can't see ourselves that much apart from when we're recording a video for ourselves and we see ourselves on the screen and we see how we look. But apart from that, when we're looking at other people continuously, we forget that, we are ourselves. We're not other people, and I think we tend to, or I tend to put my feelings on other people oftentimes. Like, I was usually my best thoughts that I have and the worst thoughts that I have are at the gym. And when you go into the changing rooms and you look in the mirror and you catch other people looking at you, and you're like thinking, why is he looking at me, But then other times I catch myself looking at other people, and you can't help but look at others, and what is that telling me? We are always going to compare ourselves to other people, and we can compare ourselves in a negative way, like, oh, look at him, like I'm much better than him, or look at her, like I'm much better than her. Or the other one, when it's like, oh, they're much better than me, I'm so like, poor me, like the victim mode, or we can look up to other people, I'm looking at all of these muscly dudes in the gym, like, and it's not like I want to be like them, but I'm like, when I go to work, when I go to work out, when I see these dudes, I'm like, shit, they're probably like thinking something about me, or like, they're looking at me and like thinking, oh, like he's so weak, but they're thinking about their own business. They're not thinking about me. That's even funny to think in such a way, So I can look at those guys and be like, shit, victim mode. Or I can look at them and be like, fuck, like maybe one day I'll get to that stage, But thinking about that and thinking about recently watching a lot of videos of like a lot of spiritual videos, when they're all talking about how we are in this new age and this spiritual realm. And I think that spirituality is really like mixed with this like hippie movement, like a lot of spiritual people might be, they might be at the gym, working out, like working their mental capacities, working their physical capacities, like enlarging their capacity for, I don't know, endurance, whatever is like coming up. You don't have to be this, peace and love hippie guy. You can understand those things and not be like that on the outside at all, like not be reflecting, what's inside. You might not be reflecting that outside. Like a lot of people in Lithuania are, quite humble people. And I was thinking about this yesterday, like where there's a lot of these hidden gems. I'm starting a new job at an escape room, and they have like these 3 escape rooms, and they have 2 like little tours throughout my town, where you can walk around and just experience the town and find different like locations and find different parts of the town where they tell you a specific story, or some hidden. I found out yesterday that in 17th century there was some documents written up that in my town people have seen a volcano eruption, like in Lithuania, where there's no flipping volcanoes. They've seen like fire, like balls, like just shooting up at this hill that we pass, like we often pass through. And then I looked at that hill and I was like, oh, there's actually no trees here at the top of this hill, and there's no like trees going down the slope, because they found some lava remains in the lake that is at the bottom of the hill. And I was like, I never knew these things. And sometimes these gems are hidden in plain sight, and I could be thinking that I'm smart, or I could be thinking that I know something. Like I don't feel like that at all. I don't feel like I know nothing. Like I don't know anything else that somebody else knows. Every time I record these videos, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I just pick up a camera and I start filming, and this is the stuff that comes out. And I always walk after the gym. I always walk to this bench and I sit down here. So today, that's what's coming out, is these hidden gems that are hidden in plain sight. Maybe you need to Google something, and just Google your town, like history, 17th century history, 15th century history. Like, look at what documents you can find, but like choose one document and follow that route. Follow your interest. Like follow something that is interesting to you, and see where that takes you. I'm gonna do that today, because I said I was gonna do that yesterday, because I met a person and she told me something about Lithuania and Lithuanian history, and I didn't know that at all. Like, I didn't know the fact that even some kings in the back in the day were like playing like political games in order to attract popularity to Lithuania. And I don't know if you know this, but Lithuania, I think in the 15th century, was the biggest country in the biggest kingdom in Europe. So it went from all the way from Baltic Sea all the way down to the Black Sea, and we connected a lot of different countries, and we weren't like torturers. We just took over, as in it's our kingdom now, but we left all the like all the habits, all the traditions that those countries had. They stayed with those countries. In those countries, we didn't take it away and say, now it's our rules and our regulations. It was just we let them do what they did. So it's a peaceful country. We're a peaceful country, and I don't know why I'm talking about Lithuania now, but maybe that's why. Maybe because I came back to live here, and I came back to live here in order to get back to my roots. I lived in London for 11 years, and it was amazing. I had amazing experiences. I think I went on a hero's journey out there, but the hero's journey sort of like faded out, and even the bigger hero's journey became coming back home, because I think I'm going through difficulties here every single day. There, at some point, I hit like this plateau where I was like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing every single day, and I don't feel good about it. Like, I feel like I'm losing stuff. I came back here every single day. Like, I get to that point in the day where I'm like, this is boring, this sucks, this, I should be somewhere else. Like, every single day. I don't know if you get that, but I get that, where I'm like, I need to be out there, I need to be doing something. And it's like, out where? I'm out here right now. Like like that song. I don't know if you heard that song on TikTok or on Shorts, like the guy in prison singing "I'm right here." Like that gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Like he says, like I ain't running from nobody, I ain't hiding for nobody, I ain't ducking for nobody. I'm right here, and I'm not gonna sing it because the way he sung it was just. And he's in prison, you know. He's in prison, and by the looks of it, they were having fun, you know. And sometimes when you like close yourself off from the world, some people need that. Like I don't feel like I'm in prison. I could go anywhere that I want. But recently I went to the hospital, and we couldn't leave for 3 weeks. We couldn't leave because it was intense care. But I don't know if there was a lot of care. There was medication, a lot of medication, not for me, but for other people. And you couldn't leave. But when you're confined in a space, you sort of find freedom in that in that confined space. You find freedom. You know, we had all kinds of activities there, therapies, group therapies, food, like everything was there. And a lot of people just go back there because it's easier there. It's almost like a prison, you know. And people, if you act good, they treat you good, you know. If you act bad, they treat you bad, you know. So I spent 3 weeks there, and that's what I mean. Sometimes and I started to draw there again, like drawing a lot. And when I came out, I noticed that I'm not drawing as much as I was. But being in a confined space, like being closed off from the world a bit, I think it does help a little bit. And maybe not even a little bit, but a lot. Like I speak a lot with my therapist about this, you know. Like I started going to therapy when I got back to Lithuania. When I moved back here, I was just like, I was so depressed. But I think what happened here is that I got the mirror from everybody around me, because everyone around here is so friendly compared to like how it was in London. I'm not saying that I didn't meet a lot of good people in London. I did, but here it was like, you know, everyone is super close. They will help you out with anything. And I still am not used to that, you know. Sometimes it's even too much. But basically, you know, I started to get the mirror that I just lost a lot of that humility that a lot of people have here, you know. And sometimes that's I guess what my conclusion is, that sometimes we're surrounded by those chosen ones, and you know, those angels and those demons are just around us, you know. And there could be your closest people, they could be embodying the angel and the demon, and you don't know when, you know. And sometimes you get like really bad vibe from somebody that's really close to you, and you don't know why. So, you know, check it out. It doesn't, it's not always necessarily, you know, it's not equal. Sometimes a stranger can be your best friend that day, you know. And sometimes your best friend can be a stranger, you know. So I guess the mind is scattered today as usual, but, you know, the chosen ones are around you. Hold on. Just work out your brain, work out your physical body. Hold on. You've got this. I know that it's hard. I know that it's difficult, and it's not easy for me, but it gets easier, and it gets easier as you make it harder for yourself. So, you know, give yourself a challenge, give yourself a rest at the end of the day, and see how you feel. I don't have any advice, but that's what I think that's what I do. I'm gonna go and do some drawing now and upload these videos. And, you know, I already took 2 challenges down today, you know, and see if the third one I can take down. So thank you to all my supporters, and as usual, peace and love. Not necessarily in a hippie way, but like, I hope you have peace. And nothing against hippies, you know. I think I'm a hippie, you know. I'm a spiritual being. I don't necessarily dress like that. You don't have to dress like that. But I'm a spiritual being. I'm a light being. I know that. And you know, maybe it's because I never took up a career path. Like I never took up a solid something like, oh, I'm an accountant, or oh, I'm a banker, or oh, I'm this or that. Like sometimes I wish I did that. But then again, I'm like, yeah, sometimes I wish I could do that. But then I see people around me that have done that in my closest family, and everybody's like, you got it good. Like, you got it good. They telling me you got it good. And I'm like, maybe they have, you know, maybe they're saying the right thing. Maybe I don't need to be a banker. Maybe I don't need to earn millions and thousands of pounds, you know, because with that money comes big responsibility. And, you know, when you're responsible for yourself, then you get more responsibility, you know, like, but if you can't be responsible for yourself and you're putting your blame and guilt on somebody else, then you can't even have £100 or dollars in your bank account. That money goes away because you just don't care about yourself. But if you do, you know, you learn to save and you learn to spend money on what's important for you. And, you know, like gym membership, I don't know, 40 euros a month. That's a lot, but I put that money in. I don't feel like I feel bad about it. You know, we got an outside gym where I could go, but I know that if I put the money in, then I'll have more worth in that. So a little bit longer message, but in the same way, I'm not being a materialist over it. You know, money comes, money goes, you know, and it has to come and go. Otherwise it can't grow. And I'll leave you on that. Peace and love.